I remember my first postcard from Thailand. It was a picture of pure, unadulterated paradise, impossibly white sand, leaning coconut palms, brilliant turquoise sea, a promise of serenity, a dream of escape packed into a suitcase. But arrived today, and the postcard has faded a little, hasn't it? The quiet hum of long-tail boats is gone. Jet skis roar across the bay. Beachside bars pound with thumping bass. The once empty sands are now full of sun loungers, selfie sticks, all vying for that perfect, elusive shot of tranquility. You search for silence between the heartbeats of the party. The magic that drew the world here has been loved a little too much. Waves' gentle lap lost in a chorus of many languages, the scent of salt, frangipani flowers, sun cream on skin, street food sizzling. It's a vibrant, wonderful spectacle. Thailand's pull, undeniable. But if you seek the whisper, not the shout, the soul feels out of reach. This isn't a lament, it's the start of a different journey. Look away from the main stage, find an unmarked path into the jungle, hear a local fisherman whisper a name, a speck of an island. This is where the real adventure begins. The postcard promise still exists. You must sail a little further, look beyond the horizon. My quest for this hidden Thailand began not with a map, but with a story. I was sitting in a small, family-run cafe in Krabi town, nursing a glass of sweet Thai iced tea, and watching the world go by. The air was thick with the scent of spices and the gentle hum of daily life. I asked her, through my rather clumsy attempts at the Thai language, where one could find a beach like the ones in her grandparents' stories. A place where the sand was still untrodden, where the sea still sang its oldest songs. She didn't point to a brochure or a tour operator's sign. She spoke not of a place, but of a feeling. She described the Trang archipelago, a cluster of emerald jewels scattered in the Andaman Sea, far south of the bustling hubs of Phuket and Phi Phi. She spoke of islands where time slows to the rhythm of the tides, where communities of Chao Le, the sea gypsies, still live in harmony with the ocean that has sustained them for generations. It wasn't a sales pitch, it was a sharing of a precious secret. Her words painted a picture so vivid, I could almost feel the salt spray on my face. She spoke of Overcrowding, with its powdery shores and reefs that tickle the coastline. She whispered of Koh Mook and its hidden lagoon, a secret chamber of emerald water accessible only by swimming through a dark sea cave. These names were not on the well-trodden backpacker trail. They sounded ancient and mystical, promising a journey back in time, away from the neon lights and into the soft, natural glow of a world preserved. Her voice was the whisper on the wind I had been waiting for, and so, my journey was set. I wasn't following a guidebook anymore. I was following a feeling, a story passed from one generation to another. My destination was no longer a point on a map, but an experience waiting to unfold. The next morning I found myself on a local ferry, chugging slowly southwards, leaving the familiar outlines of the tourist resorts behind. With every nautical mile, the water seemed to turn a deeper shade of blue. Stepping onto the shores of Overcrowding is like stepping into a dream you once had of the perfect beach. The ferry anchors a little way out, and you wade the last few meters into warm, crystal-clear water that laps gently around your knees. The sand isn't just white, it's fine and soft, like powdered sugar, stretching out in a magnificent, crescent-shaped bay. There are no roads here, no cars. The only traffic is the occasional long-tail boat puttering softly in the distance, and the gentle rustle of hermit crabs making their slow and steady way across the sand. The island is part of the Hat Chow Mai National Park. The jungle-clad hills rise steeply from the back of the beach, alive with the calls of unseen birds and the buzz of insects. A handful of small, low-key resorts and simple bungalows are nestled discreetly amongst the palms, their thatched roofs blending into the natural landscape. There is no scramble for the best spot. There is only space, endless and inviting. You can walk for an hour along the main beach and encounter only a handful of other souls, each lost in their own peaceful reverie. One of the most remarkable things about Overcrowding is its accessibility to the underwater world. You don't need to charter a boat to go snorkeling. You simply pull on a mask, walk into the sea, and within a few steps you are floating above a vibrant coral reef. Schools of sergeant major fish, with their smart black and yellow stripes, dart around your ankles. Parrotfish nibble noisily on the coral, and if you float quietly enough you might spot a shy clownfish peeking out from the tentacles of an anemone. It feels as if the island has laid its greatest treasures right at your feet, asking for nothing in return but your gentle admiration. As the day draws to a close, the island reveals another of its secrets. The sun doesn't just set here, it performs. The sky ignites in a blaze of orange, pink, and deep purple, casting a golden glow across the water and the distant limestone karsts. The day trippers have long since departed, leaving the island to its few overnight guests. A profound peace descends, broken only by the chirping of crickets and the soft sigh of the waves. It's in this golden hour that you understand the true luxury of Overcrowding, the luxury of stillness, of simplicity, and of having a slice of paradise almost entirely to yourself. Just a short long-tail boat ride from the serene shores of Overcrowding lies its enchanting sister island, Koh Mook. While beautiful in its own right, Koh Mook holds a secret that elevates it from a pretty destination to a truly magical one. This is the home of Tom Morakot, or the Emerald Cave. From the outside, it appears as nothing more than a small, dark fissure. Our boat captain, a cheerful local man named Somchai, cut the engine, and the boat bobbed silently on the swell. There is a moment of hesitation. The entrance to the cave is intimidating. You must swim into what feels like the very throat of the island, a pitch-black tunnel that stretches for some 80 meters. Somchai, with a waterproof headlamp, led the way, his light dancing on the dark water. We formed a human chain, holding onto the life jacket of the person in front, paddling into the darkness. The sounds of the open sea faded behind us, the echo of our own gentle splashes, the drip of water from the cavern roof. It felt like a genuine adventure, a rite of passage into another world. Just as your eyes adjust to absolute blackness, a faint glow appears ahead. It grows brighter with every stroke, from a pinprick to a shimmering emerald archway. The air grows warmer. The faint sound of birdsong filters through. You swim toward the light, heart thumping, and then you emerge. The sight that greets you is breathtaking. You are floating in a hidden lagoon, a perfect circle of turquoise water, surrounded on all sides by sheer, jungle-draped cliffs soaring toward the open sky. It is a secret beach, a hong, or room, completely hidden. A small crescent of white sand sits at one end, the air, damp earth, tropical blossoms. It's said pirates once used this lagoon to hide treasure. The sense of absolute seclusion is profound. As twilight settled over the Andaman Sea, another of its most bewitching secrets began to stir. On certain moonless nights, the waters around these quiet islands put on a spectacle of light that rivals the stars in the sky above. This phenomenon is caused by bioluminescent plankton. Our guide, a young marine biology enthusiast from a local conservation project, took us out in a simple wooden kayak, away from the faint lights of the shore. For a while we just floated in silence, our eyes adjusting to the dark. Then he instructed us to trail our hands in the water. The moment my fingers dipped below the surface, the magic began. A flurry of tiny, brilliant blue sparks erupted around my hand, like a scattering of submerged diamonds. With every movement, every swirl of my paddle, the water exploded in silent, glittering trails of light. To truly understand a place, you must connect with its people. And in this quiet corner of Thailand, that means spending time with the Chao Lei, the sea people, or Moken. They have called these waters home for centuries. Instead of staying in a conventional resort, I chose a homestay in a small fishing village on the eastern side of Koh Mook. My hosts were a wonderful family, a fisherman named Bao. His wife Molly wove fishing nets with nimble fingers. Their 2 children greeted me with shy but curious smiles. Their home was a simple wooden house on stilts over the water, modest but filled with warmth and laughter. Life in the village moves at a different pace, dictated by the sun and the tides rather than the clock. I would wake to the sound of Bao preparing his boat before dawn. The gentle chug of his long-tail engine was a familiar morning call. There was no formal itinerary, no schedule of activities. Instead, I was invited to be part of their daily life. I would sit with Molly on her porch, attempting to help her mend nets. My clumsy efforts provided much amusement. She taught me the names of the different fish her husband brought home. Her hands moved with the practiced ease of a lifetime spent by the sea. One afternoon, Bao invited me to join him on his boat. It wasn't a tourist trip, it was his daily work. We didn't go to the popular snorkeling spots. Instead, he navigated us through a maze of mangrove forests. His knowledge of the hidden channels was innate and absolute. He showed me how he laid his crab pots, he cast his nets. He explained the subtle signs he looked for in the water and the sky. He spoke of the moon's effect on the tides, and which fish would be running at what time of year. This wasn't information from a textbook, it was wisdom passed down through generations, a deep, living connection to his environment. Staying with Bao and Molly was more enriching than any luxury hotel. It was an exchange, not a transaction. I shared stories of my home, they shared the rhythms of their life. In the evenings, we would eat together, sharing a simple but delicious meal of freshly caught fish and vegetables from their small garden. These moments, sitting on their wooden deck as the sun went down, listening to the gentle lapping of the water beneath us, were the true heart of my journey. It was a powerful lesson in the beauty of simplicity and the profound richness of human connection. Discovering these pristine, secret places comes with a profound responsibility. It is a privilege to be a guest in such a fragile environment, and it is our duty to ensure that our presence does not diminish its beauty. The very thing that makes these islands so special, their untouched nature and an authentic way of life, is what is most at risk. Traveling respectfully is not just a polite suggestion, it is an absolute necessity if we want these havens to remain for future generations. It begins with simple, conscious choices that, when made collectively, have a powerful and positive impact. One of the most important principles is to pack smart. Bringing a reusable water bottle and a portable filter to avoid buying single-use plastic bottles, which are a terrible scourge on marine environments. Carry a reusable bag for any purchases you might make. Choose reef-safe sunscreen oxybenzone, octinoxate. Think about everything you bring, and more importantly, everything you might leave behind. The goal is to leave no trace, only gentle footprints in the sand. Supporting the local economy in a meaningful way is also crucial. Locally owned guest houses, homestays, large, foreign-owned chains. Eat at family-run restaurants, buy handicrafts directly from the artisans who make them, and hire local guides for any excursions. When your money goes directly into the hands of the community, you are empowering them to preserve their culture and their environment. It creates a sustainable model of tourism, where the people who are the guardians of the destination benefit directly from its protection, giving them a vested interest in keeping it pristine. Finally, we can actively participate in conservation. On Koh Kraden, I joined a small group for a beach cleanup, organized by a local dive shop. It was a humbling and eye-opening couple of hours, collecting plastic debris that had washed ashore from elsewhere. Many of the small-scale tour operators in the region are deeply committed to marine conservation. Plant new coral, learn about sustainable fishing practices. It transforms you from a passive tourist into an active custodian, a guardian of the very paradise you have traveled so far to find. My journey through the secret islands of the Andaman Sea was more than just a holiday. It was a reminder that true discovery is still possible in our well-trodden world. It's a reminder that serenity isn't a commodity to be bought but a state of being to be found, often in the quietest and most unassuming of places. The world is full of these hidden corners, these whispers on the wind waiting for those who are willing to listen, to step off the beaten path and draw their own map. These places hold the soul of travel, the feeling of seeing something for the first time, of being genuinely, wonderfully lost. The greatest souvenirs I brought back were not objects, but feelings. The thrill of swimming through a dark cave into a sunlit lagoon. The awe of seeing the ocean glitter with living light. The warmth of sharing a meal with a family who opened their home and their hearts to a stranger. These are the treasures that don't fade or break. They become a part of you, changing the way you see the world and your place within it. They teach you that the most memorable journeys are not about the destinations we tick off a list, but the connections we make along the way. These Thai islands are just one example. Your own secret paradise might be a hidden valley in the mountains, a forgotten village on a distant coastline, a quiet park in your own city that no one else seems to have discovered. The magic lies in the seeking and the quiet joy of having a place that feels like it's yours alone, even for a little while. It's a relationship between a person and a place, a secret shared between the two of you. These are the stories that truly enrich our lives. So I invite you to think about your own travels. What is your secret place? Where have you been that has filled you with that same sense of wonder and peace? Perhaps it's time to seek out a new one. Or perhaps it's time to share your secret, to whisper its name to another curious traveler, just as that kind woman in Krabi whispered those island names to me. For in the end, the most beautiful maps are the ones we share, guiding each other towards the quiet, undiscovered corners of our magnificent world. The postcard promise still exists. Your serene escape awaits. Like, subscribe and share for more hidden travel gems.